Own goal alert! Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and I am back with another Rockford Ice Hogs video. As I said in the last one, the Piggies had a game tonight against the Iowa Wild, a team that they had not beaten yet this season. So I don't know that I was super hopeful coming into tonight's game, but it didn't matter whether I was hopeful or not. We were treated to a pretty good show tonight. So let's go over the 3 questions I had for this game to talk about how it went down. Question number 1. Can the Ice Hogs finally beat the Iowa Wild? Yes, they did! They had lost the previous 3 matchups this season, the first one with a score of 6-3, the second one with a score of 5-2, and the third one with an overtime loss in Rockford with a score of 3-2. But they broke that streak and they beat Iowa tonight, and it felt great. Question number 2. Will the Ice Hogs start the game on time? Well, I'd say so. 47 seconds into the first period, Captain Garrett Mitchell scored to get the Ice Hogs on the board first. That goal was assisted by Ian Mitchell and Colin Delia. Ian Mitchell just sent back down to the Rockford Ice Hogs by the Chicago Blackhawks, along with Wyatt Kalnick and Mackenzie Entwistle. Entwistle was not in the lineup tonight, so the Ice Hogs ran with 7 defensemen and 11 forwards. But with how this game went down, it is very good that the Blackhawks sent down Mitchell and Kalnick, I will say that. Question number 3. Can the Ice Hogs build momentum with their special teams? No? Question mark. So both the Wild and the Ice Hogs had 2 power plays apiece tonight, and neither team scored on them. The first penalty kill put in by the Ice Hogs was a very good one. I believe the Wild only got 1 shot, and they couldn't really get the puck set up at all. It was pretty chaotic for them, but it was a good kill for the Ice Hogs. The second kill, they relied on Colin Delia a bit more, but no harm done. So their penalty kill didn't hurt them, but it would have been very nice if they could have gotten on the board on the power play, but that was just ineffective all in of itself. So like I said, Garrett Mitchell scored first to open up the scoring in the game, to open up the scoring for the Ice Hogs. And then 13 minutes and 41 seconds into the first period, Nate Soucy scored for the Wild. So that tied up the game, and that's how it went into the first intermission. Hey, that's not bad. They weren't trailing. So then they go to the second period, and 1 minute and 17 seconds into the second period, Nick Swaney scored for the Iowa Wild to put them ahead 2-1, because that's just what Nick Swaney does against the Ice Hogs. That was his 8th goal of the season. 6 of his goals have been scored against the Ice Hogs. I don't know what it is about Nick Swaney and the Rockford Ice Hogs, but I'm going to need him to stop doing that. And then 7 minutes and 55 seconds into the second period, Turner Ottenbright scored to make it 3-1 in favor of Iowa. But 18 minutes and 34 seconds into the second period, DJ Busdecker got on the board. That was his 2nd goal of the season, and it was a big one because it cut Iowa's lead down to only 1 goal that made it 3-2. That goal was assisted by Ian Mitchell and Alex Nylander. That was Ian Mitchell's 2nd assist of the night. And the 2 teams went into the second intermission with a score of 3-2. So then we go to the third period. The Ice Hogs are trailing by a goal. Neither team is getting a whole lot going. The shot totals in the third period were 9-6, thankfully in favor of the Ice Hogs, so they did shoot the puck more than their opponent when they had to tie up the game. And then magic happened. 18 minutes and 12 seconds into the third period, so with time winding down, the Ice Hogs are trying to get possession of the puck so they can get Colin Delia out of the net onto the bench for the 6th attacker. So in comes Wyatt Kalnick. He throws the puck at the net. The Wild defenseman gets the puck, and it looks like he has an easy opportunity to clear it away from his net, but all of a sudden the puck is just in the back of the net. My brain could not really process what I had seen. It looked like a magic trick because I saw Kalnick shoot the puck, but I saw the defenseman get the puck back, but then all of a sudden It was behind the goaltender. That's right, my friends. We had an Iowa Wild own goal. The heavens opened up, the angels were singing a beautiful song, an own goal by the Iowa Wild with under 2 minutes to go in the third period, and that tied the game at 3. It was just so beautiful, it might bring a tear to my eye. And since the game was tied, with time winding down, and since the game was tied off of an own goal that kind of caused the two teams to go into, oh no, panic mode and try to play for the overtime, but they were kind of playing hot potato with the puck. Nobody wanted to be the next one to mess up, it looked like. So the third period ended, the game was tied 3-3. That goal was credited to Wyatt Kalynuk. It was assisted by Ian Mitchell. That's right, Ian Mitchell had assists on all 3 goals tonight. Wyatt Kalynuk got technically the game tying goal. Like I said, it was very good that the Chicago Blackhawks sent those 2 guys down to Rockford this morning. So to the overtime we went. The Ice Hogs took 3 shots in overtime. Iowa took 2 shots in overtime. If I were to judge the overtime period, I'd say that the Ice Hogs had a slight advantage. Of course, overtime always makes me anxious when it's my team, and every time the opponent has the puck, I feel like it's going to end up in the back of our net. But I believe the Ice Hogs had the better chances, but maybe that's just me. The final shot totals were 34-30 in favor of the Ice Hogs. That's right, they outshot their opponent. Is that 2 games in a row now where they've done that? Thankfully, they won this game. They lost the last one. But nobody scored in overtime, so to the shootout. This was the Ice Hogs' 3rd shootout on the season. It was Colin Delia's 3rd shootout on the season. He is the only Ice Hogs netminder that gets to play in shootouts this year, apparently. Alex Nylander was up first for the Rockford Ice Hogs. He came in a little slow. He was doing some puck work. I think he had a little bit of hypnotism going on with the puck because he got right in there on Baribeau and just whoop! Just got it right past him. So the first shooter for the Ice Hogs scored. First up for the Iowa Wild was ex-Ice Hog Joseph Cramarosa, and of course he scored. It was just a perfectly placed shot that came off of his stick very quickly. He picked a corner, he hit the corner, the shootout was tied 1-1. The second shooter for the Rockford Ice Hogs was Ian Mitchell, and why not? He had 3 assists on the night. Clearly he was feeling it. He tried to go 5-hole on Baribeau. He shut it down, so the second shooter for the Ice Hogs did not score. And the second shooter for the Iowa Wild was Marco Rossi, top prospect for the Minnesota Wild, so that was a little frightening. But he tried to outweight Colin Delia, and Colin said, no, not today, and he stopped him. So the shootout remained tied 1-1 with only the first shooters scoring. The third shooter for the Rockford Ice Hogs was Andre Altabarmakian, and I don't know what it is about this kid, but he just has one hell of a time scoring in games. Even though he creates chances, he's doing everything that he should be to try to get goals. They just do not come to him. But that was not the case in the shootout. He went in on Baribeau, just sniped it past him. The third shooter for the Rockford Ice Hogs scored. They were up 2-1 on the Iowa Wild. So it all came down to Colin Delia having to make one more stop in hopes that the shootout did not get extended. And who did the Iowa Wild send out? Nick Swaney. If you recall from a few minutes ago, I said that all he does is score on the Rockford Ice Hogs. So they hit us with an ex-Ice Hog in Joseph Cramarosa, who scored on that first shot. Then they put in Minnesota Wild top prospect Marco Rossi. He didn't score, thankfully. And then they throw at us Nick Swaney, who all he does is score goals against the Rockford Ice Hogs, and Colin Delia had to stop it. And stop the puck, he did. Nick Swaney came in on him. He tried to shoot the puck top glove side. Colin said, not today, my friend. He made a nice shoulder save, and he was so happy. And what do we love here at From Center Ice? We love happy Colin Delia. Colin made 2 out of 3 saves in the shootout. 2 out of 3 shooters for the Ice Hogs scored goals, and the Ice Hogs win. But they would not get to that point if it wasn't for that third period goal by the Iowa Wild on their own goaltender. With how many fits the Iowa Wild have given the Ice Hogs as of late in their games. It was hard for the Ice Hogs to play the Wild last season even. And with how the last game ended against the Wild, with them scoring on the power play in overtime, which it was just a mess and shouldn't have been a goal because it was offside, but it wasn't called. It just felt like beautiful, beautiful karma. So the Ice Hogs won in the shootout tonight. The team looked fairly good. It was kind of a slow game back and forth, but Colin Delia looked great. I'm so happy to see him having a bounce back year. And it's kind of weird to say a bounce back year because he didn't play all that much between the two teams last year, but he's certainly getting plenty of ice time as of late, and he's playing really well. We're just going to forget that second game against Grand Rapids from last weekend, and I am just so happy for the guy. But unfortunately, we have to put this game behind us as the Henderson Silver Knights are headed to Rockford this weekend for the first time. They will play back-to-back games at the BMO Harris Bank Center, and first up is Friday night, and I have got 3 questions for that game. Question 1, can the Ice Hogs score first? So for this game, I asked if they could come out and start the game on time. They did, and even though they did fall behind on the scoreboard, it very much helped that Garrett Mitchell had gotten on the board first and the Ice Hogs had that first lead. Then they weren't chasing all game trying to catch up. That's gotta help mentally. So can they come out on Friday night and score the first goal? That would be great. Question 2, will the Ice Hogs get to the middle of the ice? So while the Ice Hogs had 34 shots on goal tonight, there weren't many that I would consider high danger chances. There were a lot from the outside, which of course credit to Iowa and their defense for keeping the Ice Hogs to the outside. But the Piggies have to find a way to create their own chances and get to the center of the ice. Because if they can do that, they will get better scoring chances and maybe they will score some more goals. So will they do that on Friday? I don't know. They've had a tough time of doing it so far this season, but there's no better time to start than now, so Friday would be a great time to do so. Question 3, can the Ice Hogs score on the power play? Between the penalty kill and the power play has been the better special teams unit for the Ice Hogs so far, but the last few games that's sort of fallen off a cliff. So if they want to continue winning games, I would highly suggest they start scoring again on their power plays. So if they can score the first goal of the game, if they can get to the center of the ice and create some better chances for themselves, and if they can score on the power play, they should be in a pretty good spot Friday night against the Silver Knights. So those are my 3 questions I have for the Ice Hogs for Friday night's game against Henderson. Do you have any questions for that game, for the team as a whole? What do you think about them so far this season? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're here, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that and throw this video a like because that would make me very happy. And if you'd like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. There's links to all the places you can find us over there, but if you are more of a social media person, you can find the links to all of those platforms down in the description. All of that being said, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.